Morning musings are back. The weather is nice. We had a whole week and a half of very, very cold weather, like below minus 25 Celsius, which is somewhere around minus 10, 15 Fahrenheit. Too cold to do the dog walks, too cold for me to walk. But the beautiful weather is back. We're in the above freezing temperatures now. Sun is shining and I can resume my walks. And I have a topic this morning. Someone asked me this morning, Rene, how do I find my true self? That is such a loaded question. And sometimes I wish there was a button that I could push on you. And just push that and then say, here you go. Here's your real self, your true self. But unfortunately, it's not that easy. Over your lifetime, you were carefully shaped, formed, conditioned, programmed to become a specific character, a specific role that you would play out in this life. And none of that is your real self. It is all conditioning that was overlaid onto your soul, right? For you to become a functioning member of society. To find your true self, in my case, I can only speak from my experience. Sometimes that involves extreme pain, right? And because my life was so buried in religion, 50 years literally, I was buried and overlaid and plastered with Christian programming and indoctrination. So for me, the deconstruction came in the form of Christianity and religion and the belief in God. And it took a very painful relationship or connection, which I have in the past referred to as a twin flame connection. And this other person came into my life to become a mirror, to reflect back to me all the things that I needed to remove out of my life. And a lot of that was very painful. A lot of that was reflected back to me in the form of rejection, disrespect, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, all in the name of Jesus. All in the name of Jesus. This other person taught it and always spoke of their deep, intimate, spiritual relationship with Jesus. And all I ever got from that, the reflection I got from that, was disdain, disrespect, dismissal, and it was signaled of how wrong I was, right? And of course, that was searingly painful, but it was this searing pain that finally got me in touch with my soul. It got me in touch with my deep inner feelings. And at first, they surfaced as deep resentment and hatred towards God and Jesus. Because through this mirroring, through this reflection from my very spiritual friend with their special relationship with Jesus, all that I was experiencing was pain. Pain and abandonment and invalidation. So, and it filled up my cup. It filled up my cup. I'm gonna let this truck pass. It filled my cup of pain to overflowing, to where my soul finally went into rebellion mode, and I just said, fuck God and fuck Jesus. Fuck religion, right? And I cleaned house. Sometimes you have to do more than just rearrange the furniture. Sometimes you have to throw the furniture out. You gotta clean house. And that was my pressure point. That is what broke the seal on my religious my religious programming, which remained hermetically sealed for 50 years. Like there was nothing coming in, nothing else coming in. I was under this mind control. But finally this pain broke the seal, and the pain was so great that it overrode my fear of God. What if I offend God? I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck about that. And my soul was breaking free. My soul was breaking free by feeling deeply, feeling authentically. And I was allowing my real, true feelings to surface. And I have become this Jesus-hating new version of myself. And when I say Jesus-hating, I'm not talking about the historical person that is said to have walked the earth 2,000 years ago and brought this new teaching. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Christian Jesus that is a construct of wounded egos, a construct of the human mind that has adopted this thought form as a coping strategy, right? So, anyways, but I won't go into that. But that is how I found my true self. I finally felt my true feelings, and I allowed them. I allowed them voice. And the more I allowed them voice, the louder my soul became, and drowned out all of this, the lies, the programming that I had been under for half a century. Half a century. Can you believe that? Half a century of being a walking zombie. Not operating from my own soul, but from the mind control that society had placed upon me. Finding your true self is a journey, a lifelong journey. It's a treasure hunt, and you are in search of the pearl of great price. And that pearl is your soul, is the connection to that part of you that you haven't felt all your life. It's that connection to your sensual self, your sensual soul, your feminine, the feminine aspect of the divine nature. So, yeah, like I said, I wish I could just push your buttons, but maybe I can push your buttons literally, and trigger little things in you that might help, like acupuncture. Maybe I can find some pain points that make you feel your deep soul and awaken your deep soul. That's all I can hope for. Anyways, I wish you a beautiful day and a beautiful now. I wish you a powerful self-realization.